attorney and our judge executive as they lead this meeting, and be with the residents of our county as decisions are made that affect their lives. Lord, we also ask that you be with the men and women who tirelessly serve this country, family members that aren't able to be with us during this holiday season, people ensuring our freedom who enable us to join together in meetings like this one tonight. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Carol. Next on our agenda, item number 4, presentation and approval of bills, mattresses, and five-card bills. Action is requested, please.
What is this net for Polly Consumer District, $16,041.65? Yes, sir.
That is for the logic mapping data for dispatch. That's our yearly contractual fee that we pay. Yes, it's Logic. Logic is a department within MSD. So MSD is the fiscal agent within the government, and they're the ones that bill us.
And this is for a license finding? I mean, I need to know, what I'm asking is how's it come into us? You know what I'm saying, how's it connected to us?
We're tied to Logic through a server. We connect in and get all of the mapping data. They separate Bullitt County, put it in another server, and we access it through the internet, and we make changes and do everything. It's a 3-year agreement. I think you all approved the contract with the agreement with Logic 3 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the bill for this year.
Okay, I just didn't know what this, it did say Logic on here, it just says MSD.
That's their bill, so they're the fiscal agent, and they send the bill out.
Okay, thank you.
It's a really fancy map on the internet. Logic is a real fancy map with lots. It's an excellent map.
And so that you'll know, this is the tornado warning siren. I think most of you all know that. And we are very thankful to have this system in place. And so when you hear it, when the weather is inclement, you know what to do.
I make a motion to pay the bill.
Thank you, Magistrate.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Brandon, you call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts? Yes. Motion carried.
And the bill is presented by the Treasurer's Office. Ms. Starr.
Thank you, Judge. The proof was sent out for dated for November the 27th of 2013.
Make a motion to approve treasurer bill.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Magistrate. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Next, number 5, approval of the minutes from November the 19th, 2013. Action is requested.
Miss Bridget here, and I went through this, I had marked different places. D is they, I had showed before, most of it's just typographical or just, that should be in there once and shouldn't have been in there. And other than that, I think that was it. And I make a motion to approve the minutes once there have been, just the typographical errors. Changed.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Magistrates. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Mr. Robert?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Brandon. Next, we have Chrissy Dolan. Is she with us tonight? With Partners in Prevention? Okay, I do not see her, so. Magistrates, I have moved the Bullitt County College agenda item up to the presentations. We have several folks here who probably need to leave once this is accomplished. But Magistrates, what I want to bring to your attention is the resolution. I would like to have action on this and to vote to adopt this resolution. It was prepared by Attorney Charles Musson, who has been engaged by EDA for preparation of new organizations, articles of incorporation, and other formation documents. Okay, County Attorney, leave me, did I do that correctly?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Before we adopt the resolution, do I need to go ahead and state all the names that will be in the,
No, you need to adopt the resolution first or vote on it, and you might want to open it for discussion with your,
so action is requested on the resolution, please.
County Attorney, did you draft these?
The resolution, no ma'am, we have reviewed it. It was, EDA contracted with a lawyer by the last name of Alpha Musson, I believe is his last name.
Yes.
He drafted those and the articles of incorporation, which we have reviewed. We have no, I don't see a problem with the resolution if that's your intent to go forward.
resolution, that does not mean we have to sign the deed, correct?
No, ma'am. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna recommend that the, to be entered into today. The only thing the resolution does is allow the formation of this consulting company, that is to be established to oversee, your property. Under section 3, if you look at it, the conveyance of the real property, it talks in there, it says the county shall, execute or has executed the deed for, to the corporation of the property, when it's so prepared and we have reviewed it. And I have a number of concerns on that, what we'll get to next, as we're talking about this, that they're minor, and they can be resolved. But this will get you going in the right direction if it's your intent to establish, the holding company. In the second paragraph of the resolution, it gives you the formal name that will establish that company, and it will be the Bullitt County Education Development Corporation.
And also the date on here needs to be December 3rd if this is approved. Still on the second page.
That's all we
Well, if this doesn't lock us in to have to do everything else without, when we see them and then go over all the other pages, I'm sure there's gonna be lots of them.
It will obligate you to convey the property. There, I have some concerns with that, and we're gonna address that in the number 2 issue, and that primarily revolves around the legal description. There are some concerns about that, and it is county-owned property, so the judge was going to ask you next, based on my conversation with her earlier today, to pay to have that property properly surveyed and get us a good legal description, because really the county can't do anything with that property until we firm up the legal description, run a title exam, and check running title on the title.
Well, I'll make a motion to, go ahead with this, resolution.
I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the resolution involving the Bullitt County Education Development Corporation? And Ms. Brandon, may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Lazaro?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes. Did I ask for questions or discussion? Make sure I did it right. Okay.
Now do 13-16.
Next, as the county attorney just stated, I'm asking the fiscal court to order a survey. And it's been suggested that the county surveyor, who is currently John St. Clair, perform this survey. Of course, it has to be less than 24 hours. No, I'm suggesting that the court do this.
I'll make that motion that we have the land surveyed by John St. Clair, the county attorney. Our county surveyor.
He probably put more touch.
And we need to limit the expenditure authorization to less than $20,000.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Magistrate. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Lazaro?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And then the next order of business, let me get this document out. In the Articles of Incorporation of the Bullitt County Education Development Corporation,
For proposed, Judge, that hasn't been adopted.
Thank you, County Attorney, proposed. In Article 10, Section Part E, it says 3 citizens at large appointed by the county judge executive from a list of citizens nominated and submitted by the EDA Board of Directors. That list has been given to me, and I'm happy to say that the list consists of some excellent people, good quality people who have served well on this corporation. And the 3 that I have selected to be on the corporation are Mr. Keith Griffey, Mr. Bill Dawson, and Mr. Bill Duffy.
What does Mr. Duffy do, or I have never heard of it?
He comes to Fiscal for a lot. He is retired, he's a retired banker and he's also an attorney. And again, these folks were submitted to me by the EDA, these people.
Are we just gonna have 3?
Yes, those are the 3 magistrate from, if you would look at Section 10. Now, this is going to have more than 3.
That's what I'm
Is
asking.
it? Okay. More than, and let me read off the entire list of 9. There will be 9 people, as the county attorney said, involved in this articles of incorporation that has not been approved.
They're proposed, they've been prepared by the attorney EDA contracted with, his last name's Musson. We have looked over those, we've made some changes, I've spoken with EDA about those. But all in all, the board will be made up of 9 individuals. The fiscal court judge executive will appoint 3.
Now, let me list off the 9, so we can, you will have it in total. John Snyder, Melanie Roberts, John Bradshaw, Scott Wantland, Jerry Summers, Mark Stout, and the 3 I just mentioned, again, Keith Griffey, Bill Dawson, Bill Duffy. Okay, County Attorney, what's my next step? Is that it?
All the 3 things you discussed with me today to be on tonight.
So we've got our resolution passed, and we've got the court has voted to obtain Mr. St. Clair to do a survey. Anything else? Okay. I think we have that accomplished. No, those are not, if you look at your, if you look at this document, EDA appointed 3, the judge executive appointed 3, and it's all stated, it's already done in the document. Any questions? Okay. Well, I'm very proud of this fiscal court for moving on with this exciting project, as was stated today by Susan Striegel, an assistant county attorney. In order to move a community forward, education is absolutely necessary. So this is a grand step, and we're proud of this fiscal court and everyone who has worked very hard up until this point to make this happen. And we have Donna Miller here, who is the director of the Bullitt County Community College.
Thank you all. Really great day.
Thank you, Donna. Okay, then we shall move on. Are we ready to move on? All right, departmental reports. We have Director Ryan Hanna. She has 2 first readings on zoning requests. Good evening.
You just saw the food today, aren't you? We met at a floodplain meeting, and she said good morning and this afternoon. And so tonight she's saying good afternoon and this evening, so she's all confused today. It is. Our first reading tonight is docket number 2013-31, George Greshel is asking to rezone his property from R2 residential to B1 highway business. The Planning Commission heard this case on November 14th, 2013. They made a recommendation to approve this with the condition that the applicant grant a right-of-way to the State Highway Department for future widening of Cedar Grove Road. One of the things they said was there were other business zones in the area and the community would benefit from the proposed retail stores. There were some objections from some of the opponents, and mainly that they felt that there was too much traffic on Cedar Grove Road and they had safety concerns with regards to that traffic and the entrance.
Ordinance number 13-30, an ordinance changing zoning from R2 residential to B1 highway business. The property in question is 3 acres more or less and is a portion of the property located at 5050 Cedar Grove Road in an unincorporated area of the county, being ordained by the Fiscal County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, in summary. Number 1 sets forth that the above property located in an unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2013-Z-31, is hereby changed from R2 residential to B1 highway business. Given first reading at the regular meeting of the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County, Kentucky on the 3rd day of December 2013, and to be given a second reading at the regular meeting of the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County on the 17th day of December 2013.
Thank you, County Attorney. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this zoning request? Just step on up to the podium, and I don't think you'll have to be sworn in, will you? Are you an attorney?
Hey.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Madam Executive, members of this court. My name is Cliff Ashburn. I'm an attorney with Wyatt Tarrant Combs, and I'm here representing the Greshels and SC Development, who is the applicant under the zoning application we have before you tonight. I'd like to go through briefly the evidence that we presented to the Planning Commission. You'll see a little receipt 10-313 that's demonstrative of the fact that this is the exact same thing that we presented to the Planning Commission for you. Initially, we've got, you can see an aerial photograph, 5050 Cedar Grove Road. It's there near the top of the photograph. You can see there's the other commercial establishments nearby. The second picture is an overlay of the proposed development on an aerial photograph. There's a creek that runs very near this property, and we've tried to keep the building and parking areas as far away from the creek as we can, to leave a nice wooded buffer there as well as not disturbing the creek bank. Behind that, there are a few site photographs, a couple of pages of those. The next in your book is a fold-out plan. And just so you know, this fold-out plan has been modified by the plan that is in the very back of your book, which I'll go through in just a moment. It's a 3-acre parcel of the directional within the property just next door. You can see it's a proposed Dollar General building. There's 30 parking spaces, not too much to it. The next slide, or the next page rather, is a portion of your comprehensive land use plan. And the reason that I bring that to your attention, there's a circled intersection on that map. And that is shown as town center or junction mix, which demonstrates that this fiscal court and the other legislative bodies that voted on the county's plan have determined that commercial is appropriate in the area. We have provided findings of fact with regard to variances that were previously approved by the Board of Adjustments, as well as findings of compliance with the comprehensive plan. And in the very rear, at the very end of your book, there's a plan that demonstrates the amount and location of the right-of-way that we propose to dedicate to the State Highway Department. During the process, we had 2 meetings before the Planning Commission. Issues were raised about the curve of Cedar Grove Road right in the area and visibility. The ability of people traveling on Cedar Grove in either direction to see the entrance, react if someone was turning to the entrance or someone stopped waiting to turn to the entrance. So we had a meeting on site with members of PDOT, our engineering firm, a couple members of the Planning Commission, so they can see exactly what we were talking about. We proposed to take out trees, and that's reflected on the plan. There's some areas where it says trees to be removed that will greatly improve visibility on the curve. And at the request of one of the planning commissioners to dedicate about 8,000 square feet of property right there on the road. The configuration of the dedication is designed not only to provide additional right-of-way, but to provide the possibility that the curve could be straightened a bit in that area. You should know that we had initially proposed a 10-foot strip along the right-of-way line instead of the configuration, but eventually agreed to the configuration shown on the plan there. And it provided a legal description for that property to row in. So we complied with that condition, at least as far as with respect to the planning commission. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
My concern all along has been you're halfway down that curve and you're making that turn. And people tend to go down that hill around that curve too fast. And I'm afraid you're creating an area where there's going to be a lot of rearing to let people hurt.
I understand. If I could say 2 things in response to that. At the meeting on site, I timed a few cars, personally timed a few cars coming from the top of the hill down to the location. We were standing on the property at the location of the entrance. And those cars took longer than 6 seconds to get from the top of the hill where they could see someone at the entrance to the entrance. The typical state design standard is 6 seconds for sight distance. In addition to that, there are some trees there that I'm sure you're familiar with. They're going to be taken out so that as somebody crests the hill, they're going to be able to see farther into the property after the development than they can today. And so we think that understanding that there's probably, at least technically, a safe amount of time, and that we're trying to improve visibility, we're doing what we can to address
For
it.
business trees, you certainly help. I agree with that.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ashburn. Now, are there any folks here who want to speak in opposition of this zoning request? Thank you, Mr. Ashburn.
Thank you very much.
And next will be the Maureen and Gregory Curry. Go ahead, Gregory.
Okay, our second one is docket number 2013-33. The applicants are Marie and Gregory Curry. They're asking to rezone their property from agricultural to conservation. The planning commission heard this case on November 14th, 2013. Their recommendation was to approve this. There have been other major economic, fiscal, or social changes within the area. The requested zoning change was were not anticipated in the adoption of the comprehensive plan. There are other properties in the area which have been rezoned to either conservation or residential, and there are several mobile homes, modular homes, or stick-built homes in the area.
Ordinance number 13-31, an ordinance changing the zoning from agricultural to conservation. The property in question is 3.485 acres, more or less, located at 2151 Deepsville Road in an unincorporated area of the county. Be it ordained by the fiscal court of the county of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, in summary. Number 1 sets forth that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2013-Z33, is hereby changed from agricultural to conservation. Given first reading at the regular meeting of the fiscal court of Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 3rd day of December 2013, to be given a second reading at the regular meeting of the fiscal court of Bullitt County on the 17th day of December 2013.
Thank you all. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this zoning request? Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition of this zoning request? Thank you.
I have one more thing. Under the requirements of the American Disabilities Act, one of the things that we're required to do is upgrade our county buildings if they're not up to specifications. And of course, anybody that's been using our courthouse annex building, they'll notice that we now have the automatic doors for our customers who may be handicapped. And we also have a new handicap ramp and rail. And I would like to thank Mark Gardner and Bullitt County Road Department for all the work they've done on that for our building.
Thank you, Director. Okay, speaking of the road department, Director Stockton, you're next. Thank you.
You have a folder in front of you with the nickel field project. The estimated cost of materials for shelving, stabilizing, and lighting the nickel field. It's got the cost of the sail in there, the lock, the guardrail, and the blacktop. That's the existing road. The total is $101,018. The road that they was talking about with the easement off of the water company for shelving and stabilizing and everything included on that. And grading and clearing and compassion is $105,355. With the pictures in there, you can see what it looks like. The new, the old roadway, this one is 11 foot in some places, and then in other places it's 14 foot. The elevation is anywhere from 13 to 22.4 on the elevation on the old roadway. The new roadway that they are wanting to put on the system is, the width on it is 9 foot to 12 foot. The elevation is 13 to 21.8. So there's only 1 point difference on the elevation.
project, if we went with, doing the new road, it would take probably about 3 months to complete it. That including blacktop.
Not including blacktop, or including black.
3 months of work, not including the blacktop. That's what they have, depending on the weather. I don't have this in my book. Do. Well, I know, that we do have a problem with the money situation on that. So I talked to some people on the nickel field, and I believe I can get used guardrail when it comes available at E-Town. I can talk to them, and I believe I can get that. And do 3 pull-off lanes on the existing road. Shelf and stabilizer for $13,250 with the whole guardrail and shelf and stabilizer. And then maybe later on, y'all can get it in the budget somewhere to the rest of it.
For $13,250?
That's just counting, that's the used guardrail. We'll have to pick to it and get the good out of it. It takes a while, but we can do it. We'll have to coat it once we get it. Right now, new guardrail is $12, I think $12.50 a foot. The posts are $60 a foot. Is what that runs. I can get the old guardrail for less than half of that pull up.
But you're saying no guardrail?
Huh?
No guardrail?
Guardrail, I mean, get used guardrail. Then hold it deep down.
okay.
They said when they got used guardrail in, I could come fix it and get it and use it. And it's a whole lot cheaper, but there's a lot of work involved in it. But this hill is dangerous, I agree with the public, and I was told to put the guardrail up on it. And pull off, we do need it, it's over a quarter mile long. And there's nowhere to go if you need somebody. So I believe I can get 3 pull-offs on the hill safely without causing a problem for the hill slide. And I done talked to the engineer about it today, and he's been on the site before, and he agreed with me. So I believe this would be the reasonable way to go for the county, for money-wise and safety issues for the public. Unless y'all think you can come up with the money to widen the road.
Are you planning on working on this right away, or you're gonna wait till spring, or?
Right time comes, I'm gonna have to start blacktopping for the state money's done been issued. I don't have a choice on that, so this will have to be a winter project, depending on the weather. But if we do these 3 pull-offs and y'all come in later and say that you want to go ahead and widen the road, it's no trouble. We can take the guardrail up and move it over and widen the road, that's no problem.
To widen that road at this point would be what kind of money?
Widen it and do all the stuff to it, it would be $101,000. For that. Yeah. And that would be complete blacktop and all. You see, the blacktop on that would be on gravel, so you have to put that 3 inches of base down, and then 1 inch of top coat on it. So that's why it costs a whole lot for blacktop.
How wide would the road be at that point?
Actually, we have to widen it to 1 foot. Okay, so we can get the guardrail up and get it stabilized in place, and you won't wait till 18 feet. Because you don't have a lot of place. And what it is, the road, the angle of the hill like this, roads here, we gotta dig straight down and cut the bottom and fill that up with shell. That keeps this road from shifting down with that shell layered in there. This hill was slid several times before. 44 goes on part of this hill to that area, and they actually lost that road down into the creek. And if we're talking about the same hill, it's the road. They come in and roll pollen, or throw steel beams in, if they did stabilize that. They give away again. They have to go back and redo it. So it's hard to hold it. I mean, it's a steep hill.
So looking at the pictures, it doesn't look like the quote-unquote newer road is much better to work with than the old road. It looks just as treacherous.
It is in some places, other places it's not. I was hoping it would work out for us with the water company saying that they had, we had to get their okay to do anything in that area. Plus, there's a couple of issues with one with overhead lines too low, so it had to be removed. It's too close to the original hill and cut back in. I'm afraid the hill's going to slide onto it. So both of them got issues. I believe you'd be better off to stay with what you've got and get rid of that problem. One other thing, the elevation on this, like I said, the old road's 22.4. The new road that they want, the steepest part of it is 21.8. They didn't hold out a difference there. I don't allow our soft trucks to go up anything over 15% grade, because you can't hold it. On snow. County's specifications is 12% grade.
So these are almost twice as what they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So are you expecting this used guardrail to be available soon?
I would say within the next month, probably would have enough. I think we got some jobs going on that they're going to be changing that out. But we're not 100% sure. But I could go ahead with the pull-offs, you know, would be all okay. The only thing that would cost us is the shell mining. It costs the county $3.25 a ton. That's what it costs for the fuel. The money that's in the hospital. Oh, that's cheaper than buying.
Have you talked to the residences there?
They're right back around.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see you. Oh, good, I'm glad you're here.
You want to come up and say anything?
Yeah.
No, we would just be happy with anything that, the temporary pull-offs, the 3 pull-offs, that would be great, and then maybe we can revisit next year. I know it's a lot of money not in the budget, so we would definitely be happy with the guardrail and the pull-offs and see how that works. I think it'd be a lot safer.
Thank you for being here.
Well,
You want us to motion that and second it and vote on it?
Yeah, because I don't have 13,000 in my budget for that.
Well, I suggest we take it out of the general fund. What do you think, Magistrate?
We're going to have to, like this, since Jim didn't have his pocket, we'll have to do something.
It's got the right pocket.
I make a motion that the, Nicholson Road, put in 3 pull-offs in the amount of $13,250. Plus what?
Guardrail.
Plus guardrail. Mm-hmm.
And that includes the guardrail, right?
Right, used truck.
Used guardrail.
I'm looking for painters too.
Do we need to put in that motion, Director, that you all shall and stabilize it? Is that necessary?
Well, you don't have to put it in there if you have to.
Yeah, they don't. Make sure that's all in there, okay. Use guardrail and 3 pull-off lanes. Okay, we have a motion. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? read that back? Perfectly clear on it.
The motion is to approve the road department to put in 3 pull-off spots and use guardrails in the amount of $13,250 on Nichols Hill Road.
What about the money? What we're gonna get the money?
Oh, is there another?
You have the figure in there?
$13,250 to come out of the general fund.
Treasurer, do we need anything else stated in that? That's good on that. Okay. Let's get this passed. No questions or discussion on that? And Ms. Brand, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Mr. Ladson?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Director, for working so hard on that issue. I know the folks there really appreciate it. No, go ahead. You can speak if you want. We're good.
Thank you very much, we appreciate that.
You did a very good job, Mr. Stiles, coming up with a solution.
Four people got 4 ways.
Yeah, I really appreciate what you did, Jimmy, and what the road department did. It's a problem, and it's all we're gonna get it. We're working in that direction to get it straightened out. Josh is here, and Josh. What'd you say?
I said, no offense against the people, but I hate that hill.
Oh, we do too.
Okay, thank you everyone for working together and getting this started in the right direction. Okay, Director Phillips of our emergency services has a couple of issues. Good evening, Mike.
Thank you. I have for your consideration 3 items tonight, hopefully for your approval. First 2 are grants that I'm seeking approval from Fiscal Court for us to go ahead and submit. It does not need a signature. They are electronic grant applications that we just have to push a button and send. I emailed those to you Sunday for your review. It's due Friday. The first being to replace our 8 cardiac heart monitors. The end of life is coming. As most electronic medical devices, they have an end of life. The end of life, and where Medtronic will slowly stop phasing and making new parts for these is 2016. So we're trying to submit this grant to hopefully start replacing them, or replace them. If not, we're going to have to start looking at ways in the budget that we're going to have to start phasing in some new ones. But I'm hopeful that we will be able to receive this grant. The total grant amount that we are applying for is $255,629. It's a 90-10 match. So the county's portion, if we receive this grant, would be $25,502. We will be able to take care of our match of the grant with the trade-ins of the old equipment. We should, if we receive this grant within the next year, we should be able to receive $35,000 to $36,000 for our 8 old monitors and battery chargers. So that will allow us to replace and then be good for another 15 years, and the next director will be able to worry about replacing those.
Where are you going?
Okay, you want action?
I don't know, you probably need to do them individual because the next one's a little bit different.
Yeah, let's do them individually. Action is requested, please.
I make a motion for the judge to sign the grant for
$255,629 in registered asphalt. It's not that the judge needs to sign them, I'm just looking for approval of the grant so I can push the button and send them to FEMA for their review. So it doesn't need a signature, I'm just looking for your all's approval to submit the grant application to FEMA.
So you still want us to go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that, I can make that motion.
Minus the judge's signature.
Right, to approve the
Motion
motion.
to approve the grant. Send it to you.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you all. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
And the second application, or grant application that we'd like to submit is to replace our ambulance stretchers, or cots. They're currently 10 years old. So again, they meet a standard that we're gonna have to start looking at replacing them. So we're looking for assistance from FEMA to replace those cots. And the draft copy that was submitted to you via email, the only change is this is considered what FEMA considers a micro grant, so it's 100% covered as long as it's $25,000 or less. So there will be no match on the $24,915. It would be, if we receive this grant, it would be 100%. It would take care of 5 cots, and with the trade-in values of the cots that we would trade in would allow us to buy the other 2 that are needed, so that we have all brand new stretchers. So that would be the only change within the document that I emailed you. When they did this, 10% of all of the funds that go towards fire departments is set aside for standalone EMS systems. And when they did the computer program, they did not change the calculation in the EMS side of the software program. So we've had to regroup and make a bunch of notations that this was a micro grant, and if we receive it, it's 100% funded.
So is this grant allocation request for 22,494?
No, ma'am, it's the top. This, when we printed this off for you all review, the system automatically calculated that. We did not realize it until we started reviewing the documents, and then we called FEMA. They told us what the glitch was and what we needed to do to correct that, and this would be 100% funding for the 5 stretchers. And then our intentions are to use the trading value to get the remaining stretchers that we need and replace all of them.
What's the cost again?
We're asking for $24,915.
I see it now.
Okay, I'll make a motion to apply for a grant for $24,915 towards cots or stretchers or whatever it is.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And if you go back and review these documents, we know there's grammatical errors. Les and I will be sitting down tomorrow with grammatical errors and some cleanup. Les does this, and I'm sitting in front of him, and he's typing in the computer on the application, and then when you finally get it printed off, you're going, oh my goodness. So we've got some cleanup to do, but I had to get it to you all for your review. So we will clean that up before it's sent off. The last item I have, Judge, is the agreement that I need your approval for you to sign between the county and Hospice Incorporated. So we get it submitted and then be on, have an agreement signed so that we can receive reimbursement from hospice for patients that we transport.
Okay. Well, action is requested. We need to sign it. Any questions, Dawn?
Refresh my memory on this. I've seen this before. It was like we had it last time, and you withdrew it for some reason.
Just that's because it was just handed to us.
Monica didn't have time to review it, so.
We're good.
I make a motion to authorize the judge to sign the hospice agreement.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director.
We do this old business.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
we think so highly of you. We're gonna bring up this other issue dealing with roads, the second reading of that, is it an ordinance? So here we go, and if y'all wanna leave, you can leave. Take it away, Jennifer.
Ordinance number 13-29, an ordinance amending 06-14, providing the minimum requirements for road construction within Bullitt County, Kentucky, whereby the county will set dedication for perpetual maintenance. Be it ordained by the fiscal court of the county of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, in summary. Number 1 sets forth the minimum requirements for newly constructed public roadways in Bullitt County, including the posting of a bond and street design standards. Number 2 sets forth the minimum standards that must be met before a road will be accepted by Bullitt County for perpetual maintenance, including the minimum acceptable width and minimum right-of-way. Number 3 sets forth that all previous inconsistent ordinances are hereby repealed. Number 4 sets forth that if any provision of this ordinance is deemed unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, that such provisions be deemed a separate provision, and such shall not affect the validity of the remaining provisions of this ordinance. Number 5 sets forth that this ordinance shall take effect upon passage and publication. Given first reading at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 19th day of November 2013, and given the second reading at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 3rd day of December 2013.
Thank you, County Attorney. So action is requested now that we've had the second reading.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1329.
Second.
Thank you, magistrates. We have a motion and a second. Oh, this is?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, wait a minute, we can't do this action yet. Is there anyone on that paper that signed up to speak on this? No.
Can't see the line numbers, but it's blank.
It's blank. Sheriff says blank. Public comments can be taken now concerning this ordinance. If anyone would like to make a comment. Okay, no comment. So, do we have to go back and do this motion again?
I've already had a motion and a second.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. We've got a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? Thank you, Bridget, for reminding me of the public hearing. And hearing no questions, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Brightcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Rocker?
Thank you. Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Oh, Mike and Judy, don't want to leave. You're welcome to.
Thank you.
Josh, thank you for being here. Brian, thank you for being here. Rudy, do you have anything? You're welcome to leave if you want. Michael, initial survey and information. Come on up.
You're the final one, you all see Okay, thank you, Judge, Magistrate, and Attorney, Sheriff. I'm here tonight to go back to July, and present a project list to the court on the Judicial Center, and that the circuit clerk, Paul, Keith, and myself come up with. We submitted a blue form to AOC, they approved it, providing funds were available. We're at the point now where funds are available. They located everything except for one of the projects on our list, so we have a total of $71,199 approved for some projects on that list. We have a form that needs to be signed from the judge to send back to them, and I ask you to approve it to have the judge sign.
What's the cost again, Mike?
The total they have approved, $71,191.
So action is requested.
And it's 100% reimbursement, so
Yes.
it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
Cost us.
What was the project they did approve?
The lowering of the ceilings in the two front areas of the judicial center, the 30-foot tall ceilings where we can't change light bulbs or heater foot area. It's a design.
It's sure pretty bad.
But you know what, we're working on that. We'll get that figured out.
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign the project.
We have this one for you.
Thank you, Magistrate. Do I hear a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunter? Absent. Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Robert? Yes. Motion carried. Any
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is June here, June Daugherty? And is not here, Jim's not here. Okay, we've got the old business number 1 completed, already. Two more things. Smoking regulation and let's go ahead and take care of the deed of temporary easement from the Bullitt Water Company. This is item number 2 on the new business. This was given to me by Edward Noah of the Bullitt Water Company, asking for, oh, there he is. I said, I'm thinking, we talked about this, I'm usually going to be here. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Do you all have copies of the temporary deed of easement in the drawing? Okay, I brought extra copies. So, if you recall, I'm Jim Burrell, I'm the Director of Engineering with the Water Company. I came before this group on August 6th to present a concept that the Bullitt Water Company had and requested that we were interested in a site for a future possible tank site on the hill next to the animal shelter at the intersection of Highway 245 and I-65. In that meeting, we requested permission to gain access to that site for surveying and for a geotechnical investigation to determine if that site is suitable for a potential water storage tank. Since that was approved by the fiscal court, as well as the Marine Corps to give us access. Since that time, and we've drafted this temporary deed of easement along with the scope of work that's attached to do this work. The leaves are down, the trees now, this is a good time to survey the work and do this kind of investigation. So I'm here today to present this to you and then to ask if county attorney could review that document and if it's acceptable, if we would, whatever action we can take, if the judge expected that we have the authority to consider or agreement to the law for this access. Any questions about it? They try to be very specific in what kind of actions we expect to do on the site, and it expires in 120 days.
And I'm looking for permission to sign it.
So what we're doing, we give you permission, give you 120 days, 4 months to go in there, do due diligence.
So that decides we identify boundaries, as well as do the testing, see the sites we work with. And then we come back and that's all goes out with discussions on, affecting the easement, so essential,
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to proceed with this temporary easement deed of temporary easement. Next person,
I'll second that.
Thank you, magistrates. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Brady, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunter? Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
thank you.
Tim, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Sure.
And on the addendum, number 4, under new business, the first reading of ordinance number 13-32, an ordinance relating to regulation of smoking in buildings, workplaces, and facilities owned or operated by Bullitt County. Okay,
Ordinance number 13-32, an ordinance of Bullitt County, Kentucky relating to regulation of smoking in buildings, workplaces, and facilities owned or operated by Bullitt County. Be it ordained by the fiscal court of the county of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky in summary. Number 1 sets forth that indoor smoking and use of tobacco products are prohibited in all buildings, workplaces, and facilities owned or operated by Bullitt County, even if leased to another party and within 15 feet of any public entry or exit point. Further sets forth that said prohibition includes the use of cigarettes, cigars, tobacco pipes, chewing tobacco, snuff, e-cigarettes, and any inhalant that emits smoke into the atmosphere. Number 2 sets forth that said prohibition does not apply to property or buildings neither owned nor operated by Bullitt County, and as such, individual property owners may decide for themselves whether to allow or restrict smoking and the use of tobacco products. Number 3 sets forth that if any provision of this ordinance is deemed unconstitutional or invalid for any reason by a court of competent jurisdiction, that such provision be deemed a separate provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining provisions of this ordinance. Number 4 sets forth that all ordinances, resolutions, and administrative regulations, to the extent they are inconsistent herewith, are hereby repealed. Number 5 sets forth that breach of this ordinance shall be a violation and shall be subject to a fine of not less than $50 nor more than $100 for the first offense, not less than $100 nor more than $150 for a second offense, and $250 for a third or subsequent offense. Number 6 sets forth that this ordinance shall take effect upon publication, given the first reading at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the third day of December 2013, and set for a second reading at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 17th day of December 2013.
Thank you, County Attorney. And we'll have the public hearing on that on December 17th, right, Ms. Brandon? Is there anything else on the agenda?
Judge, I've been asked by some magistrates to go in executive session, but before, are good in general announcement?
Yes.
I just wanted to point out to everybody, because I think it definitely is worth mentioning. Since the first grade, I went to school with a guy named Billy Witt. He goes by William now. He's in the United States Air Force. He's from Brooks, Kentucky. Of course, he now lives in another state. The military's taken him there. But this past 2 weeks, he was named by the United States government to the rank of E9, which is the highest rank in the United States Air Force, and less than 1% of the enlisted military personnel qualify for that, and I think that's worth an acknowledgement. And actually went to church with his brother and didn't even know it.
What?
His brother was younger than us. I didn't even know until this past Sunday that I went to church with his brother. So, but you know, it's a small world.
Sheriff, you have anything?
I'm good, Judge, thank you.
Okay, Magistrate Rachel,
No, ma'am.
Magistrate Ladiswell, Magistrate Hunter, Magistrate Ashland.
Yes, I have something that, I think, Jailer Knox brought up the fact at the last, fiscal court meeting, that, there was something wrong with the sewer, whatever that thing's called.
address that front here.
That's okay. And, I had talked to a guy that is, informed about that type of thing, and he was over there, I think, today, and looked at it. And, he says that really, it's really the only thing the thing needs is a top on the motor, so the motor's making a noise.
That's after it's been repaired. It's already been repaired. It needs a pump on it now because the motor was making a noise, so we called him back in order to repair that. It already has been dropped in, the road department has dropped it in for Thanksgiving.
Oh, the top or?
No, the actual unit. The top is what he called him back today for, was because it was making a noise. And he was making sure, trying to make sure that the parts were put in right, because it had been made a noise before in the past. So that's why we're calling back. So that may be all that needs to be done, but that's not what was done before.
So he was one to put it in. We're just trying to, cover our eyes and cross our T's, make sure everything is right. So hopefully, we haven't got a bill on it yet, so hopefully everything is going right. That's probably coming back as quickly as we did. Because we had our 2 maintenance men monitoring it. They were trying to monitor 24/7, but, you know, they're not there that much, so some deputies will go out and monitor it as much as we possibly can.
How often do they, do maintenance on that thing?
Really no maintenance. I mean, it's down in the store.
Right.
Really on it.
There's no maintenance to it?
No. I mean, you know, they go out and check and see, but there's no really no maintenance to it. Other than just make sure everything goes right. Now, if something's stopped up, they may go out and try to fish it out, figure out what it is. But that's not the maintenance, it's just trying to locate why it stopped up and why it may be backing up. And it may be many of things, you know, it may be a lot of different things. So, also I'd like to address the cell phone issue that you raised last time. And my answer to you at that time was I would use the phone as usual, and which I was using it as usual. But I don't have any power over the contracts. I don't know anything about anything foreign. I don't know anything about rollover minutes. I don't have that authority to look into any of that. What had happened was the contract expired and there was no rollover minutes. And so every time I would call in any landline, it was charging us. And every phone in the jail is a landline. Every phone, even if I called the judge's office, or I called the hospital, or I called another detention center, now I may call on my way in and talk to somebody the whole way in. I may call 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's why it ran up, not knowing the effect of my own. Okay? So I have been told that it's been fixed. And that's what it was. Thank you. Also, I have our smoky bag system, which is $7,956.70. Needs to be replaced. What happens with that is the clamp closes up, or they may open up. And when they do that, it won't let the heat regulate. So it may push cold air in, it may push hot air in, depending on which one it closes on. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, because it was so low and it was, yeah. Yeah, I mean, usually, you get somebody on the roof and check out that, usually he's the one that does all our units anyway. You can. As you noticed, I got this bid back in 1031. They still trying to maintenance on it, try to rig it. It's not working. So that's why we just gave up and not all that.
So is the money in the jail budget for this, or you're asking for?
Well, it's in for this, not in for my next one. Okay. My next one is the roof. I got the 3 quotes on the roof. there's two different ways that we can patch it. Or we can, put a new roof on. But it depends on what route y'all wanna go. I'm sure it's quite lengthy here, so y'all might wanna, pass it until we can get a decision on it, you can look over it.
How old is the roof that's there? How long has the jail been open? 5 years, 10 years?
No, 15 years.
Well.
12 years? Yeah, right. I was trying to think when I mean, the roof's always been a problem. It's not, we've patched, we've done a lot to that roof in that time. So, before the 10 years was up, it was a problem.
I think we need to make a motion to table this and go over all the papers before we get an answer. You want me to motion? I just try to motion the paper. Whatever you want. I make a motion to table the next topic. People out there have been supplying us for taking funds for the roof of the jail. And we should have a decision by next week. Right, 7:17.
Is it leaking pretty bad now?
Very bad. It's passed pretty bad. It's very bad.
Okay, we have a motion, let's get a second, and then we'll discussion. Do I hear a second, registered asphalt motion?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Okay, now, questions or discussion? Any other questions? I have some after we look over this information. Okay, hearing none, then Ms. Graham, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Lazarus?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Also, our Southern Health Partners contract is up. We need to, they need to get the contract to me so I can get it to the county attorney's office, so you can look over it. We are going to have to raise our ADP, which is our daily population rate, because it is eating us up on that because we go over continuously on daily population. So it's 0.98 cents per inmate per day, every day we go over. So it doesn't take long to raise up. So we got it at 230 now. So we're looking at like 260. Our cost pool is at 40,000, and we need to raise that at least, my calculations is at least 10,000 because of what we are going over with our cost pool. Southern Health Partners has helped us out a lot. They saved us a lot in more ways than one, but once I get the contract, I'll get it to you all so you can look over it again. For number one, we had an inmate go in the hospital last Wednesday, within their 2 days. We had an inmate that went to the hospital yesterday that is in critical condition, and it was our Southern Health Partners that made that call. We have been in a very hard world. Not with the hospital bill, the person that death in jail, I wouldn't take that. So we hadn't got him out there at the time we got him out there, that's what we would have. But right now, we still have him there. We're looking at least until Saturday, we're not sure. But it may be longer. But that's better than a 10.
Okay, is any action requested on the CCM? What do you say to do that now? Put on the next agenda?
CCM, I think she said was already in her budget.
Okay, I'm sorry, gotcha. Okay. All right then.
That's what she said.
Okay, anything else, Jay,
I have nothing else.
Okay, any questions for the J1? All righty, thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Anything else from the audience? Hearing none, we've got, we're going to put us into executive session.
It's 61A10-1B.
We need action.
Make a motion. I make a motion that we go into executive session under KRS 61-10-1B.
We're not finished yet, so can you please go around, so those folks are trying to listen to you.
John, may I say
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion as we go into executive session? And hearing none, Ms. Brandon, may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.